Creamy, buttery French omelette versus crispy, crunchy Thai pork omelette. Whose cuisine will reign supreme? Nah, just kidding. But these are two very different techniques you can master at home. And don't forget the hot sauce. Okay, eggs and seasoning. I think the most key part of any omelette making, whether it's French or Thai. Now, when I was little, my mum used to add fish sauce into her omelette mix and tell me that it had to be left alone for 10 or 15 minutes before she would cook it. And as I've gotten older, I've thought about that, and a lot of people would say adding salt to your eggs and leaving them to sit would make them really tough. But I've done the research, guys, I've had a look, and the jury is out. Adding salt prior to cooking your omelette eggs actually helps to keep them moist, will add all the flavor, but you do want to leave it for about 10 minutes. Argue away down in the comments section if you will. First of all, I want 3 eggs in each of my bowls. So for our Thai omelette, the salt component or seasoning component is going to be fish sauce. So put some of that into our eggs and a little bit of white pepper and just whisk that through. Okay, so here in Bangkok, you can find Thai omelettes with all sorts of things: crab, chicken, pork, just tomato and onion, which is one of my mum's favorites, but I'm gonna do a pork one today. So I add my pork mince into the egg, stir that around, and just like my mum would do, and just like the food nerds say you should do, I'm gonna leave my eggs to sit for about 10 minutes. Okay, French style omelette. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Now here is where you could add cream or milk if you like, but I think if you're making the omelette properly, you should be able to get the creaminess from the technique in the pan rather than the ingredients you add here. So I'm gonna leave it out, but you guys can totally add it in if you want to. And again, we're gonna go with science here, and those eggs are gonna sit with the salt for about 10 minutes. Okay, now time to cook. The main thing is we want to heat this up so that the butter starts foaming as soon as we put it into the pan, but not too much. We need to be gentle with our heat for this one because I want to maintain a creamy center and have it just sort of set, maybe a little bit brown on the outside. The one thing I would recommend though is non-stick. I just think it's easier for everyone. No one wants to be dealing with failed omelettes in the morning. Okay, butter is foaming, time to add the eggs. And so straight away I want to start working that egg to create almost like a fine curd scrambled egg. That's what we're going for at the moment. Don't worry about the omelette part yet, that'll come later. The whole point of this is we want to keep those curds really nice and creamy through the center. Now at this point the shape of the omelette's starting to come together. I can see the bottom is just starting to set. I'm going to take that off the heat, so don't be afraid to move the pan on and off the heat to get the most ultimate control over what's happening. So I'm taking that off, and then I'm going to grab my chives, just sprinkle those over. Here's where you could add cheese or salmon or whatever you like. Okay, back on the heat, and now we're going to start to look at pulling that egg up off the bottom of the pan. I'll just add a little bit more butter to the side, and now here's where we use pan and spatula in tandem to get our omelette shape. So just flip that and then flip again. Just want to move that whole omelette down to the bottom part of the pan. All right, and one more optional slick of butter on the top. If you're gonna do it, guys, just go all out and do it, I reckon. And a little bit of finely chopped chives on the top. And now the moment of truth. What we want to see here, some lovely soft curds in the middle, just like a scrambled egg, and then that beautiful buttery outside. And of course, because you know I can't do anything without hot sauce, I'm gonna add some coconut sriracha. That's just me. Look away if you're French. Creamy, buttery egg. Nothing beats that. Except maybe the Thai omelette, which we're gonna do now. So, crunchy Thai omelette, here we go, guys. So this one, no butter, but a lot of oil. To get the right texture, it's almost like you're shallow frying this one. I like to do it in a wok because you kind of get the smaller base shape in the bottom, but if you've got a smaller sort of frying pan, that one would also do as well. Now your oil is hot enough when you dip a wooden spoon in and you can see lots of those little bubbles around the spoon. Look at that magic start to happen straight away. See how you got all that fluffy, kind of curly egg business happening around the outside? It's exactly what you want. And we want to keep the heat on this so that the egg is cooking through the middle and we're getting that sort of brown crunchiness on the outside as well. What I'm doing is just kind of moving my spatula in through the middle from the bottom and from the top, just sort of making little holes so that the egg can escape down into the oil and cook rather than just sort of sitting like raw egg on top. Now, I guess one of the things I love about a Thai omelette is that, I mean, this is like breakfast, lunch or dinner food for us. I would be quite happy. In fact, when my mum was making this for me when I was little, it was always for dinner. We would always have an omelette and a curry or like a spicy salad for dinner. Okay, I can start to see some golden brown crunchiness happening on the bottom, so I reckon I'm gonna go for the flip. Now I'm gonna need an extra spatula here because I want to try and get it over in one piece. So just sort of encourage both those spatulas underneath and then flip it over. It doesn't matter if there's sort of like a fold, we'll fix that up afterwards. So just sort of flip it carefully because you don't want any of that oil splattering on you. And then just bring out the fold so that you've got a flat omelette. That part takes a little bit of practice. Okay, and now we are ready to get that out onto, definitely need to drain this one on paper towel. And then I just like to blot the top of that with some extra paper towel as well. When they're doing this at the street stall, they very often don't do this part and you get a very oily omelette, which I don't mind, but when I'm at home and I can do it myself, this way is better. Okay, so all that's left to do is to transfer that to a serving plate and a little sprinkling of spring onion. And always in Thailand, we would serve this with something a little bit spicy. So I'm gonna be serving this with my coconut sriracha. And there you go. Check out that crispy fluffiness. I would say it's better than my mum's, but I'd get in a lot of trouble.